Good afternoon, guys. Tim here from Chasin Trails Outdoors. Today we have a little bit of a different episode for you. Today's episode we're doing a little bit of bushcraft, but we're also going to talk about survival tips, specifically geared towards the situation I faced a little over a week ago when I was bear hunting. So if you saw my last video, I was successful in harvesting a bear. And maybe you didn't, or you did, realize or believe that I was lost. I was actually lost for about 30 minutes. It doesn't sound like much right now, but in the dark, at that time, there was a lot going through my head. And it was kind of scary a little bit. And as the 30 minutes or so went on, I really had to start thinking about what my next step was going to be. Am I going to stop walking and start preparing myself for roughly 6 hours until daylight comes? Because I figured once daylight came, I'd be able to see further in the woods and I'd get a better understanding of where I was. So today I'm not there because my brother's coming up and we're going to be hunting in that area, but I am in a similar woods area, so an Irving plantation type area, so it's a lot of softwood, fir tree, spruce, pine, stuff like that. So I am going to go into an area that is very similar. The conditions are almost identical. So yesterday had rain. We had just had rain not long before I had hunted. And in fact, I think it was supposed to rain that night a little bit, but ended up not. But that being said, I had about 6 hours that I had to be there. And today we are going to test my theories on what I thought I was going to have to do to survive those 6 hours. So if this were the night in question, walking and starting to realize, okay, I'm going to start making things worse if I keep going. So I stop and I find myself a place that I think I can get myself squared away. Let's get a few things ready here because I am going to kind of cheat a little bit and have a little luxury with me today. I did bring some food to cook. Survival kit. In here has fire, a little bit of medical, a compass, and ferro rod, plastic bag, some rubber gloves, that sort of thing. I brought saws, but most of all, I brought my chair. I will be using the chair. This chair was made by Eric Fisher from Fisher Custom Leather. Alright, let's get on to the story now. So here's what happened when I got the bear. So I was in the stand, shot the bear, gave it a few minutes, heard the death moans, went to the barrel and saw some blood, said okay, I need to get rid of my gear and bring in different gear from the vehicle. So I could, haul the animal out. So I need to get rid of my bow. I was going to take off my jacket because, I didn't think I'd ever get lost in the woods. I've been stomping around for the last couple of months. So I went to the vehicle, grabbed the sled, unpacked my bag, packed up some hauling gear, made sure I had my headlamps, and went to the bear site, dropped off the sled right at the bear site. Then I proceeded to follow the trail into the woods. Found the bear. So I found the bear, and he's heavy. I tried hauling him out myself, couldn't do it. Needed the sled. So I decided to go back. Now, I knew I wasn't far. And in fact, I was probably less than 50 yards, maybe 50 yards max from the bear site. Now the bear site was a direct straight line from where I was. Like literally, just a direct straight line. Had it been sunlight, I probably would have actually seen the site from where I was. But it is now 10 o'clock at night and, or sorry, it's about 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. Can't see it. So I, for some reason, decided dropping my bag would be a good idea. So I dropped my bag, I dropped my camera, took my second headlamp, put it on the tree so I could find the bear again, turn on the light. The bear's got a bloody trail to it. I could have found it for a joke. But for some reason, this is what was making sense to me at that time. I go to walk to where I thought the bait site was. Somehow I veered off to the right and went around the site. And then I was going, so the site points, I believe, north to south. So you're sitting in the south, pointing to the north. So I was heading now north. So I went around the site, heading north, parallel to the site, walked for a while. I said, Jesus, I'm not finding it. I kept referencing the light as far as I could. I said, okay, I should be getting there. But I didn't get there. Then I proceeded to figure, well, I'm going to find either the road or the brook, because there's a brook that runs on one side. The road runs down the front, parallel with the site, and then comes up at an angle behind it. Quite a ways behind it, but still, eventually you'd hit a road. So I said, well, I'm just going to walk because I'm not far. So I proceeded to walk, zigzagging, not realizing I was zigzagging, and then it hit me. I'm lost. I said, shit. My last text message from Trevor asked if I needed him to come up. I'm now in a no signal area. At the site, in the stands, you can get signal, you can send a text. Only a text. No data, just a straight up text. I've got zero signal. So I'm like, shit. Now the panic starts hitting. So I stop for a second and I look around. So, okay. I took stock of what I had on me. Here's what I had on me. I had my knife from elk ridge. And I always have my little Cabela's multi-tool. These two things, I had a headlamp, which I don't, do I have? I don't have the headlamp with me. So I had the headlamp, which was providing my light. It's only good for up to about 4 hours of continuous use, 4 or 5 hours of continuous use, I think. So it would get me partway through the night. I had my phone, but no signal, and about 3/4 of a charge. So I had backup light if I needed it. So now I got to figure out, what am I going to do? Had I not been calling out, Trevor never would have heard me. So this is what happened. I called out every couple of minutes. I'd yell out, Trevor! Hoping, just praying, he actually came. Sure enough, he came. He found me. I was about 30 or 40 yards in the woods between the bait site and the road. So had I kept walking in my general direction, I probably would have hit the road in like 5-10 minutes. Because when he found me, we literally were out of the woods in like a minute and a half. Like, it was not far at all. But that's finding out after. Just 2 minutes before, I was contemplating whether or not I got to stay in the woods for the next 6 hours, lost, potentially lose out my light, and I need to stay warm. I need to get out of the elements. Wasn't windy. It was pretty warm, but it was starting to cool down. And 2, I need a fire. And a fire is going to do 2 things. 1, it's going to provide me heat. 2, it's going to help keep predators away. Why is that a concern? Well, I'm between my bear bait site and the road. So yeah, there's coyotes here because they dump deer carcasses not far away. So there is some serious concern. I need a fire. So I have never officially trained for survival. I've done some basic cadet stuff when I was a kid, but more recently I became friends with Wayne Russell from Kullcraven Bushcraft and the Maritime Wilderness Skills course. Wayne has never officially taught me a course, but I did buy his online course, and I've watched a lot of his YouTube channels. I've studied many different things, some to success, others to great failure. I got to rely on what I've learned now and figure out a way to get through the next 6 hours. So that's what today is about. Today is what would have happened. Now I can't give you the exact scenario. It's daytime versus nighttime. I'm in the same type of woods. I've got the same type of damp ground. So what am I going to do to get out? So my thought at the time was 2 things. One being extremely difficult. I've got knife, multi-tool, I got a headlamp, I got a phone, I got boot laces. Boot laces are important because the boot laces I can use, I can tie a stick between 2 trees, throw a bunch of other sticks on top to try and block the wind. I don't have to tie them down, I just need that main beam. Or if I find a half fallen over, what they call a hinge cut, half fallen over tree, then I can throw stuff on there and keep my boot laces on my boots. But the other thing is fire. How am I going to make fire? The only way I know how to make fire with absolutely nothing, and I only know the theory, is a bow drill. So the theory to bow drill is using friction. And how you make that friction is you take a piece of wood, you flatten it, you put a hole, you kind of make like a hole in it, and you cut a slot in it, and then you put something underneath. You take a stick, you round off it, that's going to fit in the hole. Then you find something else to put in your hand to hold the stick down in place. Then you take your boot lace, you tie it on a long branch to make a bow, hence the bow drill. You take that bow, you wrap the stick around it, you put it in the hole, you hold the hand on top with hopefully like something wood or something to protect your hand from the heat, and then you use the bow and you go back and forth, and that spins. So it spins in the hole that's got the groove cut in it. Now the groove, what happens is that starts going and starts burning the wood and making ash. That ash catches an ember, makes an ember, it falls down, you're going to see smoke and stuff, you get it, you blow on it, you get it going, then you dump it into a pile of kindling, okay, like old man's beard, okay, or pine cones, or just anything that is very easy to catch fire. If you've got some fat wood that you can shave up and put in there to help catch better, all the better. So this is the theory. You got to make a fire out of that from nothing. I've seen it done on the TV show Alone, and I've seen Wayne do it in person on a camping trip I did a few years ago with him. So today I'm going to attempt this. And then after that, I'm going to cook some food with a real fire and enjoy the rest of the day in the woods. But this is the goal for today. So today I'm going to try and make a very, very basic shelter to keep the wind off me. And I'm going to do the bow drill. So in a survival scenario, they say shelter first, fire second. The reason to that is your shelter keeps you from the elements. Okay? So if it were to rain, it would help keep me dry. If it was to be windy, it would help keep the wind off me. Helps me regulate my core temperature, which is extremely important. Because you don't want hypothermia to set in. So I need to build a shelter, but depending on how I'm going to build it, I may need my boot laces. So if I need to use both boot laces to to make a shelter, then I'm in trouble because I can't then make a bow drill. So what I need to do is I need to find a way to make my shelter off of something that will allow me to only use one boot lace, but at the same time also only allow me maybe even keep both boot laces, but I just need to be able to keep one boot lace for the bow drill. I don't want to make, I could make the fire first, but then you have to run the risk of going out while I'm building the shelter. So I have no food, I have no water. I need to survive the night. So let's talk about the tools I have on hand, okay? So I'm going to give you a close-up of what I got. I have the Elk Ridge Gentleman knife. This is a very, very solid full-tang blade. This is good for batoning. So batoning, taking a stick, laying it down, putting the blade on top, take another stick, beat it down, splits the wood. It's good for processing wood. But it's not good for cutting wood. That is where my multi-tool. So I have pocket knife, I've got screwdrivers, I have 1.5 inch saw. This is all I got to cut branches. I can't cut a thick tree with this, but I can cut some branches with this. So this is going to be very helpful to me tonight. I don't want to cut my laces because, well, frankly, I don't want to buy new laces because I'm cheap. So let's figure out shelter. Way bigger than I need, but that's fine. Oh, yeah. Wonder if I could break some of this off. So I don't have anything to cut it, but it's super big and it's super dead. It might break with a simple kick. But my other option is using leverage of a couple of trees. There's a gap in these trees right here. I'm going to try and break it off now. If I can. Yep. Got my tree. Let's get back to So I think what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to use this tree. It's actually 2 trees. Does not appear to be dead. I don't want anything dead over top of my head, but at night I probably wouldn't be able to see that well anyways. But I'm going to break all these branches off. A lot of that will be used for fire, but then I've got the 2 trunks right here where they converge. They actually kind of separate. I could put my log in, lock it into place, and then lay stuff over top the back, and there's my shelter. Okay, now I can notch that log right in here, have it come down this way, cover the back, and I can sit here, and the wind's kind of blowing through this way, so once I get the back covered, I'll have some shelter. And because of this notch right here, I will not have to use any of my boot laces to tie up. So here is the shelter. I've got sticks lined up this way, and then I got some going across the top, and then I've got moss from the ground piled up in the back. So that's stopping the wind. I got no wind coming through. Yes, that side's open, but I'm not looking for a full blockage. Right now, all I wanted was something to stop this wind right here. So I could continue and cover the rest of that. There's a whole forest full of moss. For this demonstration, I don't think I really need to. I know that this could be done. So it's taken me about an hour to do this. I have not cut a single piece of wood. Everything's been broken by hand. Nothing's tied in. One really good gust of wind could tear this whole thing down. I don't know. But this is what I'm going with what I had on me last night. So now, let's check out the bow drill. So I tried my saw. I cut halfway through that branch. Not easy to use. It's got like there's no movement to it really. I mean, it's not really made for doing much, maybe little twigs and stuff, but this is what I got for my bow. Now the idea is strong enough, but also it'll bend a little bit, allowing me to make my bow. Ideally, wasn't so dry. Might be a little bit better, but time to get up and saw. Alright. Well, it cut a 10mm stick, about 10mm stick, no problem. Seems to work best when I just pull it backwards. Alright. Idea, I want this to bend and not break. If this breaks, I'm screwed, and then I gotta find another one. Slowly want it to bend in how I want it. That should work. Just need a bow like that. So I could tie it off here and bring it down over to here, and then just I need this. Alright, now I need very, very dry wood for the base. For the catch, I need a kindling pile. I need to get my fireplace ready as well. Now that was done. And there we go. So now I can just take my knife. Now I got a flat top. So now what I'll do is I'll take another stick and I'll make a handle and I'll make like a groove. So this sits inside that groove. So each one will be in a groove, so it'll spin and create dust. This is my thought process so far. I could very well be wrong. This is not me teaching you how to do it. This is me just going based on what I could remember. So you can see here what I've got. I've got some birch bark processed that I found. I got this, I got the little notch here. The idea is hopefully the ember will drop onto the birch bark and start burning. That is the hope. Just put my foot on it here. Yeah, let's see if this works. Oops. Here we go. Well, that's an epic fail. So, I talked to Wayne Russell last night about this, and he was very, very sure this was not going to work for me. So, I know the theory of the bow drill, and as you see, theory-wise, I have laid it out, but in practice, I am not capable. This is the first time I ever tried it. I have not had any professional instruction on it, just what I've read up and what I've quickly seen a few times. The big thing is my bow itself is not tight enough. It's slipping. It's not spinning. So I have got to get some practice on that. So shelter-wise, at least I would have been out of the wind. But in terms of fire, I would not have made it happen, unfortunately. Okay, we got the fire going. And today, we are going to use a Canadian military MRE. This is chicken and sausage jambalaya. I haven't used one of these in years. So let's see what comes in it. That's promising. So this is the chicken jambalaya. For dessert, I have sliced peaches. I got a piece of bread. It's actually really good bread. Crunchy barbecue mix. Some coffee. It's peanut butter. There's more than one meal in these things, honestly. It's like what's this? Vanilla drink mix. Vanilla drink mix. Who the fuck makes vanilla drink? And there's orange juice. 2 packs of orange juice, that's good. Some ketchup, hot sauce, and a spork. Gotta love having a spork. Of course, the idea of this is to also have a fire that's continuously going. Oh, that actually might work better, guys. Let's try that. One thing about these twig stoves is that they go out so quick and easy. Oh, right there. There we go. Starting to come up. Oh, I'm just getting covered in smoke right now. Now the idea is you cut this box and use the box to heat the food. So that'll boil, heat up from one side. I'll have to flip it over. Should only take a couple of minutes to do this. 460 calories in this. 1120 milligrams of sodium. Holy cow. 2 grams of fiber, 2 grams of sugar, 21 grams of protein. I'm curious to see what this thing's going to taste like. Got this from a buddy of mine. Cannot say names, I don't, but he hooked me up with a few of these. It's pretty cool. It's been boiling for a little bit on that side. Let's go over to this side. So I just took this off. It smells so good, actually. I think the rice is a little uncooked, but very tasty. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pour it in my pot. Woo! That's warm. Pour a little water into it, a little hot water, just to moisten it up a bit. It's actually not bad. I'm sure the boys in the military get sick of them after a bit. Yep. Probably doesn't change any. Alright, so guys, let's take a second. Let's talk about my little experiment here tonight. So, again, the idea was I was going to attempt two things when I was stuck in the woods. Make a fire without anything, doing a bow drill, and also make a shelter. So the shelter was by far the easier of the two, more time consuming, but definitely the easier of the two. But the bow drill, wow, that little complex, a lot of science behind it. And, you know, maybe I could have messed around with that string some more and tightened it up, but honestly, I think the whole contraption itself, I think I'm missing the mark on something. So that's something I think I'm going to have to talk to Wayne about and get some instruction on, for sure. But overall, what a great day in the woods. Did a little bushcraft. Tried out this Canadian MRE. Going to enjoy my coffee crisp bar now. Clean up camp and then head on home. Yeah. So the reality of the situation is, it's really important to have a few key items with you whenever you're in the woods. And a small little pouch doesn't take much room. It can have some really, really key items. So I have this pouch here. And in it, I have a small Esbit stove with some solid fuel cells. And then I have the Ziploc bag. And in the Ziploc bag, I've got a lighter, I got a ferro rod, and a compass. Now you don't necessarily need to know how to fully use the compass, but at least know how to do your north, south, east, and west. Because that way you can at least travel in a general direction. One general direction. Had I had my compass with me, even a button compass, I could have known that if I traveled east, I would have hit the road. And I was traveling east anyways, but had I had the compass, all I would have had to do was travel east. Eventually I would have hit the road, and from the road to the car and not lost. So just a few key items, and always make sure no matter what you're doing, you always have something on you. And that is learning from Tim the hard way. This chocolate bar is really old. I'll show you this. Chasin's mom used to work for Laura Seacourt, and all this white, that's the oil coming out. It's called blooming. So this chocolate's bloomed. It means the oil has started separating from the chocolate. It means it's old. Well guys, I'm all packed up. Woods are all cleaned up. No garbage left behind. And now we are on our way back to the road. It was a fun and really great afternoon. I really enjoyed myself. I enjoyed testing myself today to see if my theories would have worked out. Sadly, they did not. Well, one did. I could have built the shelter and been fine. So, but anyways, now it's time to get out of the woods. That's it for this episode of Chasing Trails Outdoors, guys. A little bit of a bushcraft one. Appreciate your support. If you like the channel, please subscribe and hit the notifications. And if you have any comments, please post them on the channel. It does help. So does a thumbs up. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Appreciate all your support. Have a great day.